Once I rented a house with some friends in Hermosa Beach, the first thing I did is put some mats in my garage. From that point on, every person I met I invited for a free class. Whether I'm buying a watermelon, putting gasoline on my car, or just chilling at the beach. I would approach the person and say, hey, have you heard of martial arts? Oh, yeah, of course. Do you know what Jiu-Jitsu is? Some people would say, oh, yes, my father trained in Japan after the war. I said, no, this is a different Jiu-Jitsu. And that's when I started using the term Gracie Jiu-Jitsu to identify the kind of Jiu-Jitsu we practice from what everybody else was accustomed to. Anyways, I eventually talked him into coming for the first class. You know how addictive it can be. The guy comes in, gets hooked immediately, and I would say, if you bring a friend, I'll get you another free class. If you bring 10 friends, I'll get you 10 free classes. And little by little, the word started getting around. Sometimes we have a whole bunch of friends together, and I would share with them some videos that I had on different matches of my dad, my older brothers and cousins and so forth back in Brazil. And on sharing that information, people would go crazy about it. And I would be narrating the stories, always on the same pattern, on the same rhythm, talking about the same elements of the fight. One day I said, you know what, I can't be doing this a million times. So that's when I decided to do a video tape called the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Action, where I compiled a whole bunch of Jiu-Jitsu matches, put them together in a video, did a little narration on top, and put an ad in the martial arts magazine. There it is. And then people started watching the video, the word started getting around on a larger scale. It didn't take much until some of the students would say, Rorion, my former Kung Fu instructor thinks I'm wasting my time learning Jiu-Jitsu from you, or karate, or taekwondo, whatever the martial art was. He wants to challenge you to a fight. Would you accept that? I said, of course, bring him in. So the guy would bring his instructor of martial arts, whatever the style might be. And of course, I'll tell my students, hey guys, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, a Kung Fu guy or karate guy is showing up for a fight. And of course, the students will pile up in the garage to see the action, right? So the guy would come in, and because Jiu-Jitsu is indeed the most effective form of self-defense, it's not my fault, somebody had me to be number one, I just happened to be it. And the guy would come to challenge me and doing this, punches and kicks and all that kind of stuff. Jiu-Jitsu, as you know, is a much more humane type of martial art. It allows me to control the opponent without having to hurt him, grab the guy, put him on the ground gently, squeeze their necks a little bit, twist their arms a little bit, they tap out and say, wow, this is great. And it was such an overwhelming, overpowering kind of action that the guys couldn't help but say, can I sign up and become a student? I said, of course. Most of the people that came to challenge me became friends of mine and students of mine. And little by little, that's how the West was won. So after 10 years teaching classes out of my garage, hundreds of challenge matches like that came through. And eventually dawned on me that I couldn't be challenging, fighting everybody forever. That's not going to work. That's when I had the brilliant idea of creating the UFC.